Alright, so what's up everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So we just got some huge leaks for Call of Duty 2025, which is supposed to be BO2 Remastered or BO2 sequel. I'm not really sure what to call it exactly. I do think it's funny though how like it seems like every time we talk about like a future Call of Duty game, we're always somehow like 2 games ahead. Like we barely know anything about Gulf War. All we know is that it's called Gulf War, and we're already talking about CoD 2025 as well. Like it's insane to me. Yeah, as I was saying, about a month into Call of Duty 2023, we're talking about CoD 2025 now, and how it's basically supposed to be a sequel to Black Ops 2, which I find is very interesting that they've gone ahead and done that. I suppose it's because they've heard people ask for a sort of like near future Call of Duty style game recently. I mean, I personally still stand by the fact that I think near future is the best setting for Call of Duty. Somewhere, you know, so it's sort of tied into reality and you can use real life guns and equipment and stuff like that. But at the same time, you have that sort of freedom where you can make up some, you know, random gun that just looks cool and it's feasible because it's in the near future. We might have it. And that's exactly what Black Ops 2 was. And I genuinely think that that is the best time period for Call of Duty game, like I say, with the whole freedom stuff as well. But yeah, it seems like the next game is supposed to be a direct sequel to that. I thought this was a floating camera. What the fuck? So in terms of the leaks that we actually know about this game, basically it's coming out in 2025. We don't know who's developing it, but it's basically going to be the same deal as Modern Warfare 3, which you're playing here, where it's going to be a sort of continuation of Gulf War, but not really. The only thing I will say that I think is sort of in favor of this Black Ops 2 sequel game is that it seems like they've sort of planned ahead with it better, so it's not going to be a straight up DLC like this game was, which I have my own feelings on, which I talked about yesterday. But even so, it's very apparent that this game was meant to be a DLC and they have transformed it into a different game. But I think with this BO2 sequel, they're going to change that completely. They've actually planned ahead with it, so it is going to be its own game. And the main reason I say that is because alongside a handful of Black Ops 2 remastered maps, there's going to be a bunch of new ones as well, which is I think the thing that this game did the worst. The main thing that made this apparent that it was a DLC, apart from all the leaks beforehand saying that it was going to be DLC, was the fact that it was Alright. It was the fact that we had an entire lineup of old maps. We didn't have a single new one at launch, and I didn't like that personally. Although the maps are good and I've enjoyed playing them, I still think that having the Modern Warfare 2 engine and feel and all the mechanics, everything carry forward, plus you've got an entire lineup of old Modern Warfare 2 maps, I don't know, it just screams DLC to me. But like I said, I think they've learned their lesson because they're going to be bringing in a handful of Black Ops 2 maps and also some new maps as well, which I can already see the debates of people saying, oh, why wasn't this Black Ops 2 map chosen? Why wasn't this Black Ops 2? I'll probably be saying it myself, to be honest, because that map had a lot of good maps. That game had a lot of good maps. What the fuck? But I just know for a fact it's going to be a case of, oh, why didn't they bring this map forward? And why did they bring this map forward? I can just tell they're going to pick some fucking stinker like Aftermath or something and not bring in like, I don't even know, like Yemen. Do you know what I mean? Like it would just be so backwards. And like I said previously as well, it seems like this game is supposed to be a setup in a similar way that Modern Warfare 3 is, where they're basically going to take Gulf War and whatever they end up doing with that game, and it's going to be a sort of like add-on to that, which I don't know how I feel about it. I don't want to say straight away, but I just don't really like the direction that COD's taking with this whole thing, where they basically come out with a game and then bring in a DLC type game straight afterwards that's also directly in the universe and a direct sequel sort of thing. Like, I just don't really know if I like that or not. I mean, if you ever talk about the golden era Call of Duty, which was, I think people say it is COD 4 to Black Ops 2, what made that era so good is that you had back and forth. You had a Modern Warfare game, then the Black Ops game, then the Modern Warfare game, then the Black Ops game. Like, it had the back and forth and the basically the tonal whiplash every year, which was actually really good because you could experience one era, which is like, you know, Cold War era, and then, you know, in modern era, and then it was near future era, and there was also with all the characters and stuff as well. Like you had, you know, your Captain Price and your Gaz and your Ghost, and then you went over to Woods and Mason, and then you went back to Captain Price. Like, I like that back and forth because it kept things fresh. It wasn't like, oh fuck me, another year of Captain Price. Like, I love the characters, I love all of them. I just don't really enjoy seeing them year after year, like, as opposed to just, you know, back and forth. Like I say, it doesn't really build up the hype for the next game, I suppose. I mean, see how people were for Modern Warfare 2, like just the idea of it, because it was 3 years since we had the Modern Warfare game. But anyway, that's the big leak, is that it's supposed to be a Black Ops 2 sequel with some of the Black Ops 2 maps being remastered and some new ones as well. We don't really have any idea on weapons, if they're bringing over Black Ops 2 weapons, or if we're going to even have the carry forward system from Gulf War, maybe. I personally hope not. I wasn't a huge fan of the carry forward system. I think the only thing that should come from all the other games is Warzone. Like, I genuinely really loved in the original Warzone when you had the Modern Warfare stuff and your Vanguard stuff and your Cold War stuff, and you couldn't mix and match the things. Like, you couldn't put Damascus on the XM4 or something like that. But I really liked how you had this sort of central point where you could use, you know, any operator you want from 3 games or any guns you want. I really like that. But I just don't like that transferring across the premium titles. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want now a carry forward from Modern Warfare 3 to Gulf War. Like, imagine that. You get into Gulf War and you've got all the Modern Warfare 3 guns, all the Modern Warfare 2 guns, and Gulf War as well. But I don't think they'd do that. I think it would literally just be within franchises. Like, I think if there was going to be some kind of carry forward with Gulf War, it would be from Gulf War to the Black Ops 2 game. I don't think it would be Modern Warfare 3 to Gulf War. That just seems really stupid. There's a couple other rumors as well. Like, they say Pick 10 is supposed to be returning, which I personally would be happy about if they brought back Pick 10. I usually am not a huge fan of the system, but the one thing that makes me want it is the, like, grenade spam and flash spam that these Modern Warfare games have. But that's 100% my biggest problem with it, and that's why I like Pick 10, because, you know, you have the people who choose all the attachments on their guns, you have the people who choose, you know, lethals, tacticals, secondaries, that kind of stuff, and people mix and match it. Like, I like how it basically just filters out the idiots who just throw flashbangs every fucking time. You know what? I'll be really interested to see what Gulf War is. I mean, I know we're here talking about the Black Ops 2 sequel, but I'm pretty sure that's all the main, like, leaks and stuff that I've spoke about here. But I'm really interested to see what Gulf War is going to be like, because even though all the older CoD games were in the same engine technically, like, say, Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2 were in the same engine as Modern Warfare 1 and Modern Warfare 2, but even then, they had their own feels to them, and you could, like, you know, you could tell one was a Black Ops game and one was a Modern Warfare game. So I'm wondering if they're going to do a similar thing with the newer games, where Black Ops has its own sort of identity. No way this kid is just lying in this fucking spawn with a Holger. Oh, get a grip, you fat, useless fucking sack of shit. I personally really hope they don't, you know, try and funnel all the developers to use this, like, Modern Warfare tac sprint sort of slide cancelling movement. I love the movement and the feel of the Cold War. I think that was really good for Black Ops games. Oh, you know what I mean, boys? But yeah, I want to see what Gulf War is going to be like. I mean, I really hope they let it have its own, like, identity and movement and feel to it as well. And if it does actually feel like Modern Warfare, I'm going to be really sad, because I love the Treyarch, like, arcadiness that they have. I also really like what they did with Cold War's movement, where it was sort of like a tac sprint, but it wasn't. Like, you didn't have to double press it or anything. It just sort of did it itself, if you know what I mean. Like, it was like a momentum-based thing. Oh, if I'd have shit on that guy, then that'd have been embarrassing on his part. I'm interested to know what you guys think of this whole, like, double sequel thing that Call of Duty's doing, where, you know, obviously with Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3, they're doing this, and then they're going to do it with Black Ops as well, where they have Black Ops Gulf War, and then whatever they decide to call the next one as well. I'm lying down. What the, how the fuck do, oh, it was some shitty explosive in the roof. Fuck off. Genuinely, one of the worst things to come out of Modern Warfare 2019 in this whole new era of CoD games is the random fucking explosives on the map. Why the fuck? I mean, I'm not talking about red barrels. I'm talking about fire extinguishers and some fucking bullshit AC unit in the roof. Like, why the fuck am I dying to that? Oh, that's a nice noise. I like that. I'm so autistic. Yeah, I just have to say, I'm not the biggest fan of this direction of CoD. I mean, I think it genuinely could be the downfall of it. I mean, by the sounds of it, this Black Ops 2 game doesn't sound as bad as Modern Warfare 3 in the sense that it's going to be a repackaged game. I don't know, but at the same time, that's basically what the leak is it not? Like, aren't they basically saying that it's going to be the same deal as this, but with Black Ops 2 maps? Half and half, yes, not really, but it's going to be Gulf War. Like, I mean, who's developing it as well? I mean, it could be Sledgehammer again. It could be Raven, maybe. I don't know. Or maybe, you know, they don't need that much time to develop it, because it might just be another DLC type game, which like I say, I don't like the direction of that. I really don't. We've basically got the 2-year cycle that we thought we were going to be getting with Call of Duty, but the worst timeline possible. Like, you guys remember the leaks where they were saying, like, Call of Duty is going to have a 2-year release cycle now? We've basically got that, but the worst fucking way possible. What I mean by that is that year 1 of, let's say, Modern Warfare 2, for example, is a new game, and it's, you know, fully fledged title, whatever, what have you. And instead of getting a gap year, we get a DLC year where we have to pay full price for a DLC game. That's just, I can't believe that this is actually happening, man. I don't know, man. I mean, I'm interested to see what this Black Ops 2 sequel is going to be like. I mean, especially with all the remastered maps and stuff as well. Like, yeah, it's all well and good having that. I mean, I'm torn on this whole situation, man. I mean, if it was Black Ops 2 Remastered, I would genuinely rather them release a remaster every year as opposed to having a DLC type game. Do you know what I mean? Like, I would actually rather them release Gulf War and then BO2 Remastered as opposed to having a half remastered, half Gulf War thing. Like, I mean, the only reason that Modern Warfare 3 ended up happening is because Treyarch needed more time on their Call of Duty game, and instead of leaving Modern Warfare 2 with a 2-year release cycle, which it was supposed to have with a DLC, they just made a new game instead. They just thought, you know what, fuck the DLC off, we'll just create it into a game instead. And with how much money the Modern Warfare 3 has made them, they can actually see that they can get away with this shit. The only reason it worked for Modern Warfare 3 is because Modern Warfare 2 was such an abhorrent trash game, and it's not gonna work with Gulf War. Like, it will and it won't. I mean, part of me wants to think that it won't because people will wise up to it by then, and plus Gulf War will be a good game, so they just think like, oh, well, if Gulf War is good, then I don't need to actually go ahead and fucking buy this DLC to enjoy a game. But then I'm thinking like the BO2 nostalgia, people will see that, they'll, you know, use some kind of clever marketing with features that aren't in Gulf War, like say Pick 10, which I don't think is actually in Gulf War because it's been advertised for this. So then it'll end up being a case of, oh, well, I suppose I could justify the £70. It's actually turning into FIFA, but like bi-yearly. Like, instead of it actually, you know, being a regurgitated DLC every year, they're gonna make a new game one year and then regurgitate DLC the next year and then release a new game. It's basically FIFA if they had 2 different developers making FIFA. That's what CoD has turned into. I mean, I know Call of Duty, you know, people will say whatever they want, like, oh, it is a DLC anyway, it's the same game every year, but they were at least built from the ground up and had different mechanics, like, you know, actually, like, they actually were different games, just the same, you know, mindless premise that every CoD game had. Whereas with FIFA, if you actually, you know, look it up and research it, you'll see that that's actually their development cycles. They take the old one and they remake it with, you know, they make free kicks overpowered this year, but then they nerf through balls, like that kind of stupid shit. I don't know, man. I mean, all in all, my thoughts are the map that had the nightclub in, where it had like the I'ma try it out song on, if they don't bring that song back in the club, I will be fucking livid. I will be fuming. Or if they don't bring that man back at all, actually, it was a fucking sick map. On a side note, this what's this place called? Hangover. It's a very nice map. It's high rise but with a Christmas theme, because the Christmas update just came out for Modern Warfare 3. It's a lovely looking map. I just don't get why they didn't put this effort into shipment, or at least bring back the Modern Warfare 2 shipment. Like, fuck me, in addition to snow, this map's got, like, you know, Christmas trees and lights and tinsel and so much shit around the map. And then you go onto shipment and it's just snowed a bit. Like, what are we doing here, man? Like, at least bring over the one from Modern Warfare 2 if you're gonna be that lazy. Whatever, man. Black Ops 2 Remastered sequel, Gulf War, you know, weird Frankenstein baby thing is coming out in 2025. Let me know what you think down below. Thanks for watching.